Hi gamers, today we're going to review a game.
We're going to review games I like to play, the Dukes of Hazzard card game and the board game. Let's check it out.
Alright, so first off, let's show you the Dukes of Hazzard card game. What you're going to do is you're going to deal out 7 cards to each player, and then you're going to put the rest of the deck right here and turn over the top card. This will be the discard pile. Now on everyone's turn, they have a choice. They can either take the top card from the discard pile or take the next card from the deck. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a bunch of matches of all these cards. And there's a few ways you can make matches. One is to have 3 of a kind. So if I had 3 Uncle Jessies, I could have a set and that would be 15 points. Someone like Bo or Luke Duke, of course, they'd be 10. Now, let's say I have Uncle Jesse, a Cooter, and a Daisy. Well, that is a set. That is a set of good guys. And actually, you could mix in Bo and Duke in there too, and that would be a set as well. So I could have 3 of a kind or a 3 set of good guys. You can also do that with bad guys that come in the game too. So if I had 3 Roscoes, that would be worth 30 points. However, if I had a Roscoe, a Flash, and a Cletus, that would count as 20 points. And this all comes in the scoring of the game later on that I'll talk about. Now, one thing you can't do, if I had 2 Flashes and a Roscoe, you know, Roscoe Pete Goldtrain, he loves his Flash, but he can't have 2 of them. That's not a match. It's either 3 of a kind or 3 of a suit. And as you see, bad guys in black, good guys in red. So what they're doing is they're going around and they're trying to get to a certain point. Actually, you're trying to empty your hand is what you're trying to do here. And some of these other cards that are in the deck, Roadblock. You play this on a player, of course it's going to be -5 on him, and it reverses the turn. So if you're going clockwise, you would go counterclockwise or vice versa. Another card you can play on people is Speed Trap, and of course that forces that player to lose a turn. Of course it's going to be -5 points when you're adding up points at the end of that round. Parking Ticket, -5 points, and that player takes 2 cards, extra cards from the deck. So it's almost like Uno. Has a County Clout, basically cancels any of these cards. So if someone plays a card on you, you can play this card on them and they have to do the thing. It cancels it out for you though. So this is a really nice card to have. And of course, look at that one, Hog Wild. You got to take 4 cards and that player loses 10 points. Now these, of course, you cannot make matches with, and as you see, they are in blue to show you what they are. Now, at the end of the round, let's say if I was to go out, I had a Bo, Luke, and Daisy. All right, so that was the end of my hand. Okay, the person who goes out first, they get 50 bonus points for going out first. Everyone else adds up the remaining cards they have in their hand and subtract that from all the suits that they may have. So they would add up all the suits they've made, the 3 of a kinds or 3 of good guys or bad guys, minus the cards they have in their hand, and of course, minus any of these cards that were played against them. And then you would start the round again. First one to 500 wins. And that is the Dukes of Hazzard card game. As for the Dukes of Hazzard game, as you see, you get to be one of these 4 vehicles here. You get to be Daisy, Uncle Jesse, Cooter, or of course, the General Lee, and the Duke Boys. And what you're doing is you're starting right here on the starting space, and you get to choose whether you want to take the highway or the dirt road. Now, depending on which road you take, determines how many dice you're going to throw. If you take the, highway here, you get to roll 2 dice. If you take the little dirt road over to the side here, you only get to roll 1 die. Now, to kind of balance that out, along the highway here is a bunch of hazard cards. Hazard cards are always bad. On the dirt road, in some sections here, it says Duke cards. Duke cards are always good. So even though you're only rolling 1 die, you may be beneficial to take the dirt road. There's even a part, if you hit over this, you can take a shortcut and jump over that bridge, but you have to land exactly on that space. And what you're doing is you're trying to get to Uncle Jesse's house right here. And of course, the first one there wins the game. Now, to add a little variety in that, they also have these barricades. And as you see, they're donated to each color. So each color can put a barricade on someone, and essentially it loses their turn. What it says is it stops them. They can't go any further. But I mean, heck, if you just want to put it right in front of, you know, let's say this is my vehicle here and someone puts a roadblock right here, well then that's it, my turn's over. So basically it skips someone's turn. And of course each player has a roadblock. Once they use the roadblock, it is out of the game. Now, of course, once the first person hits Uncle Jesse's house is the winner, and that is the Dukes of Hazzard board game. All right, so what do we think about these games? First off, Mrs., what do you think about the Dukes of Hazzard?
This is in general,
Yes.
love me some Dukes of Hazzard.
She loves her some Dukes of Hazzard. I bought her this card game for Christmas this past year. We didn't even know it existed. I found it by accident, and then she found it. I said, don't worry about it, because I'd already gotten it to her for Christmas. And so we sat down and played it. This is very Uno style. It's a little bit different because there's a point system in it. But it is very much like Uno, but Dukes of Hazzard Uno. It's pretty cheap to get online, and if you do love Uno, you have friends that love Uno and they love Dukes of Hazzard, this is the game for you. Warning though, just like in regular Uno, this is not fun with 2 players. We played go ahead.
You say that because I win every time we play.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, it's not fun with 2 players, but it is better when it has 3 or 4 or more than that. I don't think we've ever had any more than us 2, and I let her win. So,
Okay.
But that's the Dukes of Hazzard card game. Now, the board game, the Mrs. has had for quite some time. Mrs., do you want to talk about this? Do you remember where you got this game?
I do. Knoxville, Tennessee, at a Comic-Con.
Yes, she did, and she was super excited. Now, this is back before I really started getting into vintage games. And so she had gotten this game. I said, yeah, sure, let's get it. We'll try it out. And we played it. This is her #1 favorite board game to play, is it not?
I'm not a big board gamer, but if you say let's play a game and you put this in front of me, I'm going to say okay.
This is definitely one of her favorites, I should say.
Yes.
Mainly because she likes the Duke of Hazzard. It is a very easy game to learn, as you can see. There aren't that many rules around it. You can win on the dirt road. At first, I thought you could not. But we have played the game several times. We played it with friends. This has actually made it to my board game night. This is one of the few games that she owns that we have played at my board game group. And my board game group had a good time. Mainly that was because she played with us, and she never plays with us on board game night. And so they were more, I think it was more of her, the missus being in the board game than it was the board game we were playing. I think they really enjoyed you.
I can't help that I'm more fun.
Oh, but would you recommend the board game?
Oh, yeah. And let me say, even though there is the dirt road and there is the highway, if you're playing a Dukes of Hazzard board game, why wouldn't you play on the dirt road?
Oh, my stinking goodness. I've taken the highway several times before.
I've taken the highway too, but
I've had Roscoe P. Coltrane being hot pursuit of me.
it's a really fun game to play. I really enjoy it. I love it just when you're playing the game, you just feel like you're in an episode of Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh my goodness. Thematic too, she says. I'll be honest, it is. I think it's cheap to find. Dukes of Hazzard stuff usually isn't cheap, but I think
If
the
you
board.
can find it now.
Yeah, but the board game is actually still pretty decently priced. I would say get it if you are a Dukes of Hazzard fan.
Yes.
That would be the reason. If you're not a Dukes of Hazzard fan,
it may not be as fun.
yeah, you probably wouldn't like this as much because, like she said, I mean your Cooter's truck, your Uncle Jesse's truck, your Daisy's Jeep, which someone is usually always Daisy's Jeep, or the General Lee.
I go back and forth.
Yeah, she'll either be General Lee or Daisy's Jeep. But that's there's a house rule we have to where the missus always gets to pick first.
That's how it should be.
That's in every game we play.
Not every game.
But anyway, in Firefly, she's always Serenity.
Well, yeah,
Of course, right?
I should be.
But that's the Dukes of Hazzard games. Like I said, cheap, fun, and it's Dukes of Hazzard. So, yeah, until next time, gamers, game on.
Game on.